Hello and welcome to the Edupedia world. In this tutorial, we will be learning strings in Java. So far, we have already covered how strings are created in Java. We have seen the immutability of string in Java. We have seen some of the important methods in the string class. In this tutorial, we will begin learning about string buffer and string builder. A string buffer is like a string but can be modified. The length and content of string buffer sequence can be changed through certain method calls. String buffer defines three constructors. So the first constructor of string buffer is without any parameters. The second constructor is having a integer of size. So you can pass size of your string buffer as a parameter, and the third one is containing a string itself. So the difference between string and string buffer is that string buffer is not immutable. So that means it can be modified unlike string. Okay, and length and content of string buffer sequence can be changed through certain methods. So it's not that if you define it once, it has to remain constant. Fine. String buffer operations. So let's see various operations in string buffer. The principal operation on string buffer are that they append and insert methods which are overloaded so as to accept data of any type. So the main methods or the main operation that we perform on string buffer is to append and insert, and which are having different parameters. So we are having different overloaded methods. So here are few append methods. So you can see string buffer append is taking string as a integer or as a parameter, and then again we are having another method which is taking an integer int num. So you can append a integer, you can append a string, or you can append any other data type as well. Append method always add these character at end of the buffer. So whatever the buffer, string buffer you are having, it will append a character at end of that. So in case of a string buffer, whenever you append anything new, it won't create a new object in your case. It will simply append to the same string buffer that we are having in the memory. So let's see one more example. In this, the insert method adds the character to specified point. Here a few insert methods are string buffer insert, and we are having int index, and we are having string str. Then again we are having string buffer append, which is having taking int index and which is taking char ch. So we are actually appending it at particular index. So this particular index will append the string to here, and in this case it will append the string character to at this particular index. So indexes specifies at which point the string will be inserted into the invoking string buffer object. I hope so that's clear, and let's move forward. String buffer operation. So we are having various operations in string buffer. Let's see firstly the delete operation. So delete removes the character in a substring of this string buffer. The string buffer or the substring begins at the specified start and extends to the character at index and -1 or to end of the string buffer if no such character exists. If start is equal to end, no changes are made. So you see we are having a public string buffer, and then we are having a delete method. It can take your start and end index, so it will delete or remove the characters within that substring. So starting from the start character up to the end character, it will delete the characters. Okay. Then we are having a replace operation. It actually used to replace the character. So the syntax will remain as public string buffer replace, and in that you pass the start index, then the end index, and the string which you want to replace. So this is a new string that will be formed after replacing, and this is a start and end index. So if I'm having HAPPY and I want to replace from the index second till the last, so I might replace it BAD, then I might get my new string as HABAD. Okay, so that is how it replaces it. Then we are having substring. So substring returns the new string that contains a subsequence of character currently contained in this string buffer. The substring begins at specified index and extend to the end of substring. So you can see public string substring actually takes the start index and it can extend to the end of substring string buffer, whatever the value it is having. So this is how the substring works on string buffer. Then we are having a reverse method. The character sequence contained in the string buffer is replaced by the reverse of sequence. Public string buffer reverse. So here the reverse method will be reversing the characters in the string buffer. Then we are having a length method. It will just return the length of string buffer. Then we have a capacity method. It is used to return the capacity of string buffer. The capacity is the amount of storage available for newly inserted characters. So it could be possible that the size of your string buffer is, let's say 10. So the capacity will give you 10. But you can increase the capacity by simply appending it. Then we are having caret, which will let you know the character at a particular index. So specified character of a sequence currently represented by string buffer as indicated by index argument and it is returned. Fine. So it will return you the character at particular index. Then we are having getChars method. So the characters are copied from the string buffer into the destination character array destination. So first character to be copied is at index scr begin and the last character to be copied is at the index scr end -1. So you can see over here we are having a public void getChars method and it is getting the character starting from scr begin till scr end, and yeah, this is like the character index which in which it will get stored, and this is where the destination will begin. Okay, then we are having set length method. So set length method is actually used to set the length of string buffer. So whatever the new length you will provide, it will change the length using set length method. So this is an example of string buffer. Here you can see we are having string buffer sb equals to new string buffer, and we are passing hello into this, and after that whenever we do sb dot length, the length we'll get is 5. The capacity over here is 21. How 21? Why? Because 16 character room is added if no size is specified. So if you are not specifying any size, then whatever the length you are passing plus 16 characters room is added, and that is equivalent to the capacity of a string buffer. Then caret 1 will give us e. Set caret 1 I will change e to I. Then set length 2 will actually, make it to hi because it has already become hi as a row. So we have set the length to 2, so only 2 characters will remain. After that, we are appending L, and after that, we are again appending L, so it will become hill. After that, we are using sb dot insert, and on 0, we are inserting big space, so it will become big hill. Okay. SB dot replace will replace the third, third till 11th with blank. So it will just remain as big and all other characters will be replaced with blank. Reverse will make it to GIB. So this was about string buffer, and let's also do string builder. String builder, I'm going to take it on with the help of Google. So I have just searched string builder in Java, and this is what I have got. So this is like, the docsoracle.com website, which is showing the original string builder class in Java. So this class is present in a java.lang package, and it does implement serializable, appendable, and char sequence interface. So, it says like public final class string builder extends object and it implements serializable and char sequence. A mutable sequence of character. This classes provide an API compatible with string buffer. So this is exactly works same as string buffer but with no guarantee of synchronization. This class is designed to use for as a drop-in replacement for string buffer in places where string buffer was being used as single thread. Okay, where possible, it is recommended that this class used in preference to string buffer as well, faster and more other implementation. So let me just, to clarify what's the difference between the two, let me show you the difference between the two. Okay, so you may find it really easy because this is like a really famous interview question that you might encounter, the difference between the two. Well, over here you see it is saying the string object is immutable, whereas string buffer and string builders object are mutable. So that means they can be changed once created. Fine. So another is you can over here see when you print the content of my string, the output would be hello guest over here because my string is hello, and when you append it, it will be hello guest. Although we made use of same object my string, internally a new object is created in the process. Why? So because it is a string. But in case of string builder and string buffer, this is not what it happens. Okay, so you can use it to make it more efficiently. And now finally, what's the difference between the two? String buffer and string builder have the same method with one difference, that is of synchronization. String buffer is synchronized. That means it is thread safe, hence you can use it when you implement threads for your methods, whereas string builder is not synchronized, which implies it isn't thread safe. So whenever you want to use string in case of a multi-threading environment, just use string buffer, and if it's like a going for a single thread, then you can use string builder. String builder is although faster than string buffer. Why? So because there is no need to worry about threads in case of a string builder. So it's always good to use string builder whenever we have a single threaded environment and we are not using multi-threaded. And but if you are using threads and you are creating multiple threads, then it's always better to use string buffer because the method of string buffer are synchronized. The meaning of synchronized means that only one thread will be able to access that method at a time. Okay, so that means if you aren't going to use threading, then use string builder, and it will be more efficient than string buffer due to absence of synchronization. Fine. So yeah, that is the major difference between string builder and string buffer. I hope so. All the methods and all the functionality will remain exactly same. The only difference is string buffer is thread safe and thus it is slower than string builder. Okay. So I hope so you got where to use string buffer and string builder. I would also like to let you know how objects are created when a string variable is created. So let's try to search that. I'm searching how memory is allocated in Java when string objects are created. So I'm just going to do this. I'm just opening 2-3 links just to make sure that we cover each and every aspect. Okay guys, so this is a good example that I have got over here. You can see I have created four string literals S1, S2, S3, S4, and these are having different values. So over here you can see in a diagram that the memory in Java is divided into two parts. One is stack, which is for execution purpose, and other is heap. So all these four variables S1, S2, S3, and S4 are actually stored in a string constant pool. So whenever you declare a string constant or whenever you declare a string literal, this is how it is stored in memory, that is in a string constant pool. Now when you try to create an object of a string using new string, for example we are doing it here, string s5 equals to new string abc, then you can see abc is actually created in a string heap memory over here. So it is something like two objects will be created, one is a new string object and other is a string uh, literal also. So it is how it is stored in a string heap memory. Then we are doing string 6 s6 equals to new string and we are passing c to that. Okay, so what was C? C was this character sequence which is having JAVA as different characters. So now this will be stored again in a Java heap like this. Okay. After that, we are doing string s7 equals to new string, and we are passing new string buffer to that. So it will create again a space with a blank. So you can see how it is created, and whenever you do new string, again a new memory will be created in a Java string, and whenever you create a letter, it will be stored in a string constant pool. So this is how it is done. Okay guys, so thank you very much. This was about string buffer and string builder and how string objects are created in the memory. Let's meet in the next tutorial. Thank you.